Alright, so it turned out I recorded all this wonderful flowchart, but the audio was off. So, I'm gonna do it again. Alright, I'm gonna give, I'm gonna do the same thing. Hopefully it looks a bit better though. So, as I explained, I find it helpful to get a high level, kind of abstract view of the project before I start creating it. I rarely do that. Sometimes mostly I just build and then it gets fucked up, and then I kind of have to write it out so that it makes sense, and then that's how I finish the projects. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that. So, if I remember the structure correctly, I think I had like the possible winning slash losing outcomes somewhere on the left. So I'm just going to create a rectangle right here, and let's just go through that. Maybe the rules for Blackjack if you're not sure. Oh yeah, this is the first video. We're going to be building a Blackjack game using C++. I'm gonna start off in the terminal. Gonna be maybe 4 or 5 videos, about 10 minutes each. I'm gonna walk you through how I did it. I'm also gonna share the source code. It works. That's basically the introduction. I'm also learning SFML, so if/when I do, we're gonna upgrade and add some graphics to it. So, as I said, terminal Blackjack and Blackjack in general, how can it end? So, I've identified 5 ways that the game can end, right? Oh, that's terrible. 4, 2, 2. So, that's terrible. Yes, as I've said, there can be 5 ways the game ends. So, first is Blackjack, right? So, 21, 21, and this is okay, this is gonna be a loss for you. So I write dealer, and the first one is gonna be a win for you, right? So I'm gonna write U. The last one is gonna be a draw, so I'm gonna make it like gray. So draw, and here we're gonna say score bigger. So this is the dealer has a bigger score than you, and here is score. Also, it doesn't really make sense. No. So I'm gonna make this score less, so that you understand that your score is less than the dealer's. And the blue one, which is gonna symbolize the win, is gonna be score more. So you have the bigger score. So these are basically the 5 ways that the game of Blackjack can end, and it's gonna be centered around this. So our program, it's gonna start in the menu. Oh, you can't see that at all. Let's do this color. Alright. What? So, menu. And to the left, we're going to have quitting. Right? So, how do you get out? So, this is going to be boop, boop. Quit. So, in the terminal or in the menu, you're going to have the option to leave. And here is going to display your stats. So, for example, how many games you won, how many games you lost, how many chips you have left, all of that. So this is the action of leaving. This is what's going to happen. Display stats. Right. And now to the actual game. So, right off the bat, we're going to check if you have the buy-in. Right? So, if you don't have enough chips, you're going to get automatically kicked out, right? I actually should have made this as its separate thing, so I can link to it and then quit. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. So I'm gonna grab this, grab that. That's gonna be quit, and before that is always going to be display stats, so that I don't have to draw a separate line with this every single time, right? So, yeah, sure, I'll make it violet as well. Display stats, and then leave. So, if you do not have the minimum buy-in, you're going to get booted off the game. Right? So, this is in the case of no. And in the case of yes, you get to play. Right? So, that's pretty self-explanatory. So, you get charged. Yes, and minus. Yeah. I hope you can see that. Minus, but now you cannot see that. What else what color do I have? Orange, sure. Minus buy in. It's because, yeah, it costs the buy-in to play. And here we have, you get dealt 2 cards. So that's standard. And this is going to be your, basically, your starting, like after your starting hand. So here I'm actually even gonna write 2 cards, right? Plus 2 cards. And from here I'm going to also have on the right checking like these sorts of checks. So here we check for 21. Here we check for 21 plus. Here we check for bigger or smaller. Yeah. And on the top, that's gonna be the symbol for the draw, right? I'm actually even gonna make it, let's make it gray. And let's make these also represent the colors that, so either win, so win is when you have bigger, and loss is when you have smaller, and the divider is going to be black, right? And these I'm not going to color because 21 and 21 plus, they can be for you and for the dealer, so it's going to be different. So immediately from here we check for 21, and here I'm going to have win and loss, right? So win and loss. Where'd you go? Loss. So from loss, you just go back to the menu, and from win you get the pot, right? So let's write plus, or what did I think I used the orange one, right? Plus pot. Yep. So we check for 21. If you do have 21, you know, I kind of like, oh no, yeah, okay, so the gray are gonna be for checking, the gray lines, I mean. So if you have 21, then you win. If you don't, come back, right? So, yes. I'm gonna make it black so I don't constantly switch. Question mark there. So here is your starting hand. You check if you have 21 or if you don't. Then you have another decision. Let me do it like that. Do you stay or hit, right? So here, you draw it like that. Stay or hit. So do you take one more card, or however many you want, or do you not? So let's do it. Since there's not much space. Let me actually move this up a bit, right? Since we don't really need that exactly here, let's put this here up. So to the left is going to be stay, to the right is going to be hit, right? No, I think it's going to be better. Left is for stay because it's kind of a loop. So here, no, right, hit, stay. So hit is take one more card. What did I take for cards? Cards are just black. Okay. I don't really like that. All right, let me quickly make it pink. Or what color do I have free? You can't see yellow, gray. I'm already using that. I don't care. I'm gonna use this. Plus 2 cards. So here you get plus 1 card. Let's make this also like an island, and then you go back, right? And this is a loop, so you can also do this however many times you want, but the important thing is that each time you check with the 21 plus or 21, do you have that or do you not, right? So check that. So if you do, then of course yes is win. 21 plus is gonna be for you. What did I write it? Black. Yep, it is. And if no, then you just go back. So let's actually get this back. do. Ah, no, actually it would make more sense. So after checking, you come back here, right? And this is if you didn't get 21 and you didn't get 21 plus. So then you have another decision to make, right? You're again at the same place, you're right here, and then you can choose whether you stay or whether you hit. And so when you hit, you get one more card, and you check whether you won or lost, and yeah. So when you decide to stay, then it's the dealer's turn. Let's do kind of like a visual that your score at this point is like set. It gets saved. So let's get this little box here. It's gonna be your score. And here we get the dealer score, right? So there's a fairly simple, I wouldn't even say algorithm, right? But, alright, dealer's turn. Let's say dealer. Yeah, I'm just using random colors at this point. Dealer. So it's actually pretty simple. It's if he has 16 or less, he takes a card, and if he has 17 or more, he stays. What the fuck is the problem? 17 plus yeah. So again, that's pretty simple, but you also do have to remember to check the dealer for 21s, so for blackjack and for overflowing, right? So in the case of him having 17 plus or 17, his score will also get saved right here. Actually, let's go. Boop, boop, boop. Yep, score saved. 16, you get +1, and right back. Another loop to symbolize. This goes on until he's either overflown or he has won. So gotten blackjack, right? And also at this point, we also need to check him, as I said, for 21 plus and for 21. And after this is all done, we get these two scores, right? We get your score and the dealer's score. We get that, and we go to the bigger or equal, to the comparison, right? Compare. And from that, it's the same thing. If the dealer has less, so you reference these. If you've got 21 or the dealer's got 21, that's actually not an option here anymore. So these are what we have left. The last three. So if your score is bigger, then you win, right? If the dealer's score is bigger, then you lose. You can basically do one check, because here you can say it's two. It's like your score is bigger and the dealer's score is less, and here the dealer's score is bigger and your score is less. But you can just check it once, right? Because it's one scenario. And the draw, also check for that. And for the draw, actually, you get 1/2 of the pot, so you basically get your buy-in, and when we include bets, that's gonna be half the pot, plus whatever, half of what you bet. So yeah, this again looks kinda, pretty, as messy as the first one, right? Hand. Start. Hand. So let's just trace this. We start from the menu, right? We check for the buy-in. If you can afford the buy-in, then you play. If you can't, you get your stats displayed, and then you lose. And there are two ways, as I said, to lose or to exit. Either you just choose to leave, or you don't have enough chips. So then we go to the starting hand. You get dealt 2 cards. Check immediately for blackjack. If you do, win. Menu. You start again. If you don't, you continue to play. So when you continue to play, your next decision is to stay or to hit. If you hit, you get +1 card. Check for 21 or 21 plus. If you don't have it, you can do another loop, as many as you want, or you go to stay. So when you stay, your score gets saved. Then it's the dealer's quote-unquote turn. The dealer's turn is if he has 16 or less. If the score of his hand is 16 or less, he takes +1 card, and then again repeats it. Or if he has 17 or more, his score gets saved. During that, we also check him for 21 or 21 plus. If he has 21 plus, then it's a win for you, because this is from your perspective. If he has 21, then it's a loss for you, again from your perspective. And then when the dealer, as I said, has 17 or more, that's the score of his hand. His score gets saved, then it gets compared to yours. If your scores are equal, then you get one half of the pot, and then you start again. If your score is bigger, then you win, you get the full pot. If your score is less, you lose, you get nothing, start again, same thing. Right, so this is the basic look of the, I wouldn't call it a flowchart, right? I would call it a flowchart. So this is the flowchart of this project. This is how it looks. If you want, or if you want it to look good, you should probably recreate it in some sort of software, right? There are some standards for flowcharts. This was kind of just a mess, so you understand how this is going to work. In the playlist or in the next series, again, I'm not sure. I'm thinking like 3 or 5 videos, because I don't want to make them too long. I could just make it one video, but then it's going to be like an hour and a half. Because I want to go into detail, break it all down, how I thought about it, how I created it. Again, it's not a very complex project. I'm a relative beginner, but that's what we're going to do. This is the terminal. This is the Blackjack. It's going to be in the terminal. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, you can try to start on your own. I think this is basically the backbone, as I said, the abstract, high-level skeleton of the project. What we're going to do is just use code to get that into reality, and that's relatively easy when you already have what you want to do. Because if you just start, like I did, and you just try to hack it together, from my experience, you're just going to have to do this anyway, right? You might somehow be able to get this to work, but then it's going to be bugs and like logical errors, because I logical in the sense of like the rules of Blackjack. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. Next part coming sometime. Take care. Yep, one more thing I forgot to add. I was rewatching this, right? And when I said about the bet sizes, here, right, with half the pot, top right, near loss. I'm holding the eraser, so I don't want to touch it. Right here. Fuck. As I said, there are also going to be bets, right? So it's stay, hit, or plus bet, actually. And here you can bet. So it's not really hard, right? You just bet. I'm not sure if this is, oh yeah, for completeness sake, I think I should include it. Plus bet, right? So here you can also, each time, so here, starting hand, you can either stay, hit, or bet. So, and every time you take a card, you also have the choice to stay, hit, or bet. Each time, again, you could, well, we will implement the logic, right? If a bet is more than your chips, then nothing's gonna happen. And so there's some basic logic to check if you can make the bet. And if you can make the bet, it's gonna be, the pot is gonna be equal to the pot plus your bet, right? And you can add bets each time. And why this is important is because it's gonna be displayed, right? Your available chips and the chips in the pot. So yeah, this is helpful also to know that this is gonna happen, that we need to do some logic checks, and that the bet you add is gonna be added to the pot, and it's actually not completely accurate because it's going to be double your bet, because the dealer is going to always match it, right? So you can even like bet times 2. This is basically how it's going to be. So it's not just you're putting in your own money and then why would you even do that if the bet is not matched? So as I said, stay, hit, or bet, nothing really changes, same thing, but from the starting hand, and here you have the option to also bet. Yep, that's it.